I'm surprised that this has had so little news coverage. Although, I know this has been posted in another already. But since it's so exciting, I thought it should be shared in Unresolved Mysteries as well. I also posted it in the True Crime Discussion Forum. I hope that's allowed. I'm still fairly new to posting on Reddit. Many fans of true crime, and in particular those interested in John Doe cases, have speculated on this case for over 3 decades. And now it has finally come to a close because Dorado Jane Doe has finally gotten her name back. They did not release her last name out of privacy for her family. But her first name has been officially declared as Kelly, which was the first name of 2 of her alias actually. For those of you who don't know the case, here is a brief rundown. In July 1991, a 23-year-old woman, who was later found to have stolen multiple identities, was murdered by her ex-boyfriend at the since-demolished Whitehall Motel in El Dorado, Arkansas. She went by many different aliases while alive, such as Mercedes Cheryl Ann Wick, Kelly Lee Carr, Shannon Wiley, Cheryl Kaufman, and Sharon Wiley. She was known to have lived in different states before her death, such as Texas and Louisiana, and was supposedly a sex worker. When she was alive, Dorado Jane Doe gave various versions of her past, suggesting she had been arrested before, had 1 or 2 children, and may have been involved in a bank robbery on the East Coast. Her ex-boyfriend, a supposed pimp named James McAlphin, was shortly charged with and convicted of her murder. But since she gave so many varying accounts of her past and identity, he, nor any of her friends at the time of her death, were able to confirm who she really was. Yolanda McClary, a forensic specialist who worked on this case extensively in order to give Dorado Jane Doe her name and story back, has written this write-up on Kelly's life. The only article one could find sharing the news. From Arkansas's local CBS station, THV11. Edit. Because I wanted to make sure more people see the comment I made down below regarding the weird blog post. I just wanted to say that I also found the write-up pretty weird and also placing blame on her mother when we really don't even know the full extent of her circumstances either. This isn't the first time I've seen a write-up like this actually, in similar types of cases. So apparently Yolanda isn't the only one doing it. I've followed Yolanda's plight to identify her though, and just based on how long this has taken her to figure out and how clearly passionate she is about EDJD, I believe the details provided in the write-up and think it's probs the best we're gonna get now. That both she and her mother are dead and much of the family appeared estranged at various points in time. I only included it here because it's the only write-up as of yet that provides all those details, background. But yeah, I totally agree that she sold all her hard work kind of short with such a creepy write-up. And for anyone doubting the entire identification story, the El Dorado Police Department announced this on their Facebook page, and also linked to Yolanda's article in their post. I'm unable to provide Facebook links here. Otherwise I would. I'm not sure though why they haven't held an official press conference, made any public statement about it aside from their Facebook post. Edit. One of the reasons it's also super odd to me that Yolanda would blame her mother so much here is because in one of her posts in a Facebook group I'm in, it was from about a month ago I think, but I couldn't find it when I went back and looked. But it was when she stated she was very close to solving this case. She also mentioned that based on public records and information from the surviving family members she was able to speak to, She thought EDJD may have had two sisters and that there was some evidence that one of them may have been fathered by her mother's own father or one of her uncles. And I'm assuming that the sister who was raised by the farmers may have been the product of that alleged incest, which may explain why she was sent away. IDK. I feel like Yolanda didn't even explain it too well because it's still unclear if she had one or two sisters. But either way, if her mother was the victim of sexual abuse by a male family member, of course she would have been a mess. So if Yolanda believes this, granted it has not been verified or even mentioned in her write-up here, so maybe it has been debunked, why would she take such a hard stance on the mother's actions? But also please take that information with a grain of salt. I just wanted to provide further insight, based on Yolanda's apparent findings, beliefs, on why her shaming of the mother is so weird and wrong. How could she blame her for being so troubled if she thinks she had a child fathered through incest?